Hey everyone, my name's Ryan. Are you sick and tired of hauling your heavy kayaks to the beach? Well, say no more, because I have a solution for you. Right here I have the ultimate kayak cart design. I'm going to show you a few runs, then we can go over the design and how I built this. So here we have the kayak cart with both kayaks off. Everything here will fit in the back of my orange kayak. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to make carts that, I don't need to leave anything at the beach. I could bring everything with me just in case, things can get stolen and whatnot. I wanted to make it very compact. And let's go over how I built this thing. So we could start here. These purple things, they all come off. So none of this PVC is glued here. So this just pops right off. I have the beach wheels, and how I did it is I have a Lynch pin right here, and these wheels can all come off. But how it is I have a metal bar right here. And you can see I put a spacer in for the tires don't hit this PVC when we're rolling. But when I take the tires off, here it is. In these bars, if you need to, I have a Lynch pin on the other side, and they also come off. So let me put this tire back on if I could keep talking about the cart. Okay. So this is how I built the turning mechanism. So this is the front of the cart. I have a foldable handle. Very nice because this collapses, and I'm able to put it in, where my feet go in my cart. Not my cart, my kayak. But how this all works is right here, I have my PVC frame. This frame is the same pretty much on the other side. But what I did is this metal, all this metal is how the turning mechanism works. So I have a bar right here on the bottom, and it connects to the other side. Same like this. And then I just have a bolt that goes in, and that's holding everything nice and still. You can see I bent the bolts here just for none of the screws come off with like wear and tear and use. But how it works is with the handle, when you move it, the tires will just turn. Just like that. I think the turning mechanism is very important. I made a lot of different versions of the quad design, and I think the turning is very important. You do need to have a turning, especially if you're going to be walking, a lot to the beach. I think it's very important to have. So like I said, the handle comes off. So how this works is there's a little metal press button right here, a little pin. And this is kind of hard to do with one hand. Let me put this down for a quick second. Okay. But this just slides out. So you can see this pin. I just have it on one side. This locks in place. And I use this mechanism a few times throughout the cart, and you'll see that in a minute. So that comes off. Like I said, these purple things come off. Okay. Let's take a look at the middle, how I have it connected here. So you want this on just to keep the cart upright and for it doesn't separate, when you're pulling the kayak. So how I kept them connected is, again, the same little metal pin here. I'm able to take that off. So these just kind of press down. So let me take that off real fast. Okay, and with that out, I have two holes right here on this T-piece PVC. And then this is what it looks like. That's how these connect. Now the reason why I didn't put these pins in the middle is just for it's easier to put into this PVC. If I did it too much and the holes right here, it would be too hard to take out of this PVC. I would either have to sand this down a little bit to make it more loose to fit in here, but this works perfectly. You just push it in and it doesn't, you know, release by itself or anything. So now let's look at the back side. I'll show you this version this way. So here it is, very similar to the front. We just don't have the metal turning mechanism. How the tires are, again, we have the Lynch pins. Let me take this one tire off. And we just have a long metal steel rod that goes all the way through. So unlike this in the front design, this has a very small metal rod right there. And then the other one, I just have it going all the way through. Now let's do a quick disassemble, and I'm going to show you how I put everything back in the orange kayak. Okay, so I come over here with my button release design. I take the handle off, and you can be pretty quick. You know, the more you do this, you could get in the kayak in less than like 2 minutes. These all spin off. The tires right here, like I said, we have these Lynch pins. Lynch pins all come off. The tires will all just slide out. And then the middle piece connector, it's the same design. We have a button design right here. Like I said, here you just kind of wiggle them off. Okay, so here is everything. Here's the kayak disassemble. So now let's put everything in the cart. So I'll start with the front piece. So since this is a little too big for my kayak, what I did is we have these Lynch pins right here. I just got to take off one bar. I'll take this off. And now this will be able to fit in the back. So I put this on back here. Sometimes it's a tight fit, so you just gotta do a little wiggling so it'll fit in there. Then I'll take the rear design, and this will fit back here. I'll take the 4 purple holders. And then that is everything. We'll put the top back on. Okay, so we have a few more pieces. We have the middle connector and the handle. These will fit right by your feet. Right there. And then with the tires, so we have 4 big tires. You can either fit, 2 of them in between your legs. Or what I did is I made these 2 concept designs. I didn't want to draw anything into my kayak, but you can. It'll probably be a lot easier than doing this. But I have a design for my green one and a design for my orange kayak. So let's look at the orange design. So these usually had, what's it called? Bungee cords. I usually have bungee cords that come in on both sides. So there would be bungee cords here, bungee cords here. And then what I did is I would put it right here, and the bungee cords will hook on to here on both sides. So this would be nice and sturdy on the kayak. And then I take 2 balloon wheels, and then these will just fit right here. So then with the other 2 tires, we can either do the same thing on the green kayak, or you could just fit the 2 tires right in between your feet. Knowing how to tie the carts together is very important. Otherwise, if you're going on the sand, one kayak will go forward and the other will go back, and then your cart is not going to be good. So I'm going to show you real fast how I tie them together. So on the front, I just tie it to the frame right here. And then same thing on the back side, you just tie, these straps to the frame. What I have is one of these tightening straps. So I just tighten it. And then the key, once you have these around both kayaks, is you have to put either another one of these straps or a bungee cord in the middle. If you don't do that, like I said, the kayaks are gonna separate and they're both gonna fall off. So, you know, you gotta make sure you're tying it right. So put a bungee cord or one of those in the middle, and then it'll keep both your kayaks on. Now let's go over how to create the kayak cart. Right here in this picture is all the things that we need to create. I'm going to be going over all the materials that you need to buy and the exact measurements of each part that we need to make. Here are all the parts we need to make the front side of the cart. We need 5 1-inch PVC tees, 2 1-inch PVC caps, 1 inch of a PVC pipe, 4 Lynch pins, ½ an inch of a steel hollow rod, and then 1 inch of aluminum hollow tubing. Here are all the measurements that we need to create. If you want to, just pause the video and take a picture of it. But this is all in 1-inch PVC parts. After that, you want to glue all these parts together. And you should have something like this. Now let's go over the turning mechanism. And that is completely made out of the aluminum metal tubing. The black dots are supposed to be where the nuts and bolts are supposed to go. It's important to note that some of the metal tubing is overlapping and some are underlapping. So once you have those two parts together, you want to combine the metal part and the PVC part. Again, the black dots, you just want to put nuts and bolts. Alright, so now we want to add our steel hollow rods. To do this, you want to drill a ½ an inch hole in the aluminum metal tubing. And then on one side, you want to connect a Lynch pin. And then on the other side, you want to connect the spacer. To do the spacer, you just want to drill 2 holes and then put nuts and bolts in. This is mainly for the tires don't rub against the PVC and metal. And then you could slide your tires on and then add the Lynch pin on the further side out from the cart. So this is what your final product of the front should look like. I'm going to show you a few pictures with different angles where you could just see how I put it all together. Alright, now let's move on and go to the rear part. For this, you will need 5 1-inch PVC tees, 2 1-inch PVC caps, 1 inch of a PVC pipe, 2 Lynch pins, and ½ an inch of a steel hollow rod. Here are all the measurements that we need to create. Again, this is all going to be in 1-inch PVC parts. If you want to, just pause the video. Next, you want to glue and put together all the pieces, and this is what it should look like. Now we want to add our steel hollow rod. To do this, you want to drill 2 holes into the PVC caps. Both are going to be ½ an inch, and then you want to slide the rod in. Now, where the rod is slid in at, you want to drill a hole onto the rod itself and put a nut and bolt for the rod doesn't slide in and out of the PVC. Then you could slide your tires on, and then on the distal end of the rod, you want to add your 2 Lynch pins. Finally, when it is all finished, this is what the rear end should look like. Now let's get into building the 4 holders. For these, you will need 4 1-inch PVC tees, 8 1-inch PVC caps, 1 inch of PVC pipe, and then some foam noodles. And right here is the measurements in 1-inch parts. Now you want to glue together all the parts. However, do not glue the 2 end caps on. You want to be able to take these on and off before you can fit the foam noodles. And then when these are all finished, this is what the holders should look like. You can see on the bottom one, we have those 2 detachable end caps. Next, let's make the handle. For this, you will need 2 ½ an inch of aluminum hollow rods. Each of these should be 36 inches in length. We will need 1 steel spring clip, and then we will need a handle of some sort. The one I used is from a shovel. And then to make the handle, you want to attach the shovel handle to the aluminum bar by just drilling a hole and then putting a nut and a bolt. And then on the other side, to attach the 2 bars, you just want to drill another hole and then put a nut and a bolt as well. And then for our final part, we will be making the middle connector. For this, we will need 1 1-inch PVC pipe, which will need to be 48 inches in length, and then we need 2 steel spring clips. And this is what it should look like finished. Like I said earlier in the video, I had the steel spring clips hanging outside of the PVC pipe because when I tried to put the pipe into the T-piece, it was just too tight. So I would either have to sand the pipe down or I could just put the steel strings on the outside, and this worked perfectly. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed my ultimate kayak cart. I went through a variety of designs, and I think this is the best one. If anyone has any difference of opinions or thinks they can make a better cart, please post it down below, give some suggestions, give some ideas. I would love to make this cart more compact and more efficient. I have also created a video on my ultimate electric beach cart if you want to go check that out. You can also put the kayaks on that cart. You just have to take the 4 side panels and take them off. If you want to have an ultimate electric kayak beach cart, you should go check out that video. Thank you everyone, and have a good one.